I used to believe I understood what marriage was made of: simple, steady things. Trust. Showing up. All the tiny routines that slip into your life without you noticing. Making her coffee just the way she preferred. Picking up her favorite chocolate even when she swore she was cutting back. Sitting through the same show again and again just because it made her laugh. Somewhere along the line, those little gestures became the only threads holding us together. Maybe that's why what happened that afternoon felt like a punch to the chest. It was a warm Saturday, one of those days that seemed designed to lift people's spirits. Leia said she wanted to stop by the outdoor market, something she used to love. I didn't argue. Things between us had been strained for months, conversations forced, silences heavy. If wandering through crowded stalls could soften the tension, I was willing. We walked side by side, but it didn't feel like we were together. Her attention drifted, to her phone, to the vendors, anywhere but me. I tried to ignore the sinking feeling. Halfway through, she paused at a fruit stall, not because of the produce, but because of the man selling it. He had that easy charm some people are born with, laughing at something a customer said. And then Leia smiled. Not a polite smile. Not a brief one. It was the kind she used to give me, soft, bright, full of life. My stomach twisted sharply. I stood still as she tucked a strand of hair behind her ear, the way she did when she felt shy. The man, Aiden, according to his sign, held her gaze a second longer than necessary. She didn't seem to notice I was right behind her. "Try one," he said, offering her a slice of peach. She laughed. "Are you trying to convince me to buy everything?" "If it works, I won't complain," he joked. I didn't know what hurt more, her smile, or the fact that I couldn't remember the last time she smiled like that at me. Something inside me gave way. A quiet crack that had been forming for months finally split open. I felt like a man watching his house burn, standing outside the gate with no way to save it. I turned and walked away, slow, deliberate steps, leaving the stall, the market, and the version of us I'd been desperately pretending was still alive. Maybe she didn't notice I left. Maybe she did, and didn't care. I didn't check. I reached the end of the street before the ache in my chest hardened into something clearer. Not anger. Not bitterness. Just acceptance. If she had that smile for someone else, I wasn't going to cling to scraps anymore. I had just taken another step when her voice rang across the street. "Rowan, wait." I froze. Her tone wasn't annoyed or confused. It was frightened. She hurried up behind me. "Rowan, please." I turned slowly, trying to hide the mess inside me. She looked breathless, worried. Her cheeks flushed. "What's wrong?" she asked. "Why did you walk off like that?" For the first time in months, she was looking at me as if I mattered. "It looked like you were smiling at another man the way you stopped smiling at me," I said before I could soften it. Leia's eyes widened, her breath catching. A stunned silence stretched between us, but it wasn't cold this time. It was shocked, vulnerable. "No," she whispered, stepping closer. "Rowan, it wasn't like that." "It felt like it," I said quietly. "And feelings, they're real, even if the reason behind them isn't." She seemed to shrink under the weight of my words. She looked away, then back, searching for something to hold on to. "You think I'd betray you?" she asked, her voice breaking slightly. "You've been distant for months," I said. "Tired. Quiet. Somewhere else. And today, you came alive for a stranger." "It wasn't him," she said. Her voice trembled. "It wasn't anything he did." "Then what was it?" She hesitated, then spoke so softly I almost didn't hear her. I was smiling because, for one tiny moment, I wasn't thinking about everything I'm losing. "What?" Tears blurred her eyes. "I feel like I've been failing you," she whispered. "Every day I've been overwhelmed, trying so hard not to fall apart in front of you. The more I tried to hide it, the further away I pushed you. I didn't know how to stop. You could have told me." "I know," she said, wiping her cheek. "I was scared. I thought if you saw how empty I felt, you'd look at me differently. Or worse, you'd give up on us." I blinked, stunned. "I thought you already had." "No," she said quickly. "I never stopped loving you. I just stopped loving who I'd become." I didn't want you to watch me crack. She took a shaky breath. When I smiled at him, it was because he said something silly about peaches, and for a split second, my mind stopped spinning. It wasn't about him at all. It was relief. A strange mix of hurt and understanding washed over me. She wasn't making excuses. She was showing me the hidden battle she'd been fighting alone. So, why did you run after me? Because when I looked up and you weren't there, it terrified me, she said. It made me realize how far we've drifted. I didn't want you walking away thinking you didn't matter. You do. So much more than I show. Something inside me softened. Not completely, but enough to breathe again. I thought I was the only one hurting, I said. We both were, she whispered, just in different corners. She reached for my hand, slowly, like she was afraid I'd pull away. Her fingers brushed mine, tentative but real. Come back with me, she said gently. Not to pretend everything's okay. Just to start talking again. Talking for real? She nodded, fear and hope flickering together on her face. I looked at her hand, then took it. She exhaled shakily, as if she'd been holding that breath for months. We walked back to the market, not as a perfect couple, not as a broken one, but as two people finally willing to stop pretending. When we reached the fruit stand, Aiden gave a polite nod and looked away, sensing something private had settled between us. Leia squeezed my hand, grounding me, reminding me the smile she gave him was never meant to replace the one she'd lost with me. As we moved through the stalls, she talked, slowly, honestly, about her fears, her exhaustion, the pressure she'd let build up around her. I listened, really listened. And for the first time in a long while, we weren't just walking next to each other. We were walking together. Maybe the road ahead wouldn't be easy. Maybe we had repairs to make. But as her fingers intertwined with mine, warm and steady, I understood something important. Sometimes the moment that breaks you is the same moment that shows you what's still worth holding on to. And she, Leia, was worth holding on to. And so were we.